Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to Salon Etiquette, Tales from the Salon. So tonight, my name is Ms. Camille, and I am your cosmetology counselor, like giving advice, spilling the tea, the cosmetology. So I'm just going to give you a little advice, share some tips from 35 years behind the chair. And I'm just going to give you a couple of little stories to just help you along the way. Because I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt. I'm a survivor, I'm gonna make it, I'm gonna survive, keep on surviving. I done survived it. I done survived the crazy clients. I done been the crazy client, salon owner, beauty school, everything. I done been there, done that. But I am a member of a couple of Facebook group chats. And some of the young people that just graduate from beauty school, coming out of beauty school, been doing hair 1 or 2 years, they always have questions. So I just want to spill the cosmetology tea and share some advice on how I made it, how others that I know made it. There's a couple of us still around because I got my license back in 1990. So technically 35 years behind the chair and counting. So I have a lot of wisdom, insight that I would like to share. And one of the things that's most important to me is salon etiquette. And I have a book and I have 7 principles. On these 7 principles I stand, because I believe that not only is the style important, but customer service is much, much, much more important, because you have to be able to deal with customers at the end of the day. The hair is the easy part. Dealing with the customers it can be kind of rough. It can be rough. But if you have your stuff together, because remember, always remember, you're the expert. You are the expert. And that's what we want to encourage each other, give each other confidence, because you are the expert. That's why people come to you. And we want to get people in your chair. I want to get people in your chair. Not only do we want to get them in your chair, we want to keep them in your chair, keep you booked, keep you booked solid, keep you booked solid. Now, with that being said, tonight I'm going to talk about like basically introduction of the 7 principles. But tonight I'm going to talk about the greeting. 3 tips on why the greeting is important. Number 1 is because you never know who is a potential client. You never know. So you have to be nice to everyone you meet. Be kind. Make sure you have eye contact. Make sure you ask people their name and introduce yourself. Always acknowledge someone's presence and say hello. And if you can't say hello, just smile, because you never know who is a potential client. So when a client comes to you in your salon, like I said, make sure you make eye contact, introduce yourself, ask them their name, and make sure that you just, even if you just say hello or give them a smile. The greeting is always important. So I know that I have numerous times, met someone and I like their hair or whatever, and you want to ask them who did their hair, and then you might get the number, whatever, and you go and you call. The people be, who this? How you get my number? What the world? First impressions. Do I want that person working on my hair? Do I want to even take this conversation any further? So you got to make sure that you always have a good greeting. And number 2, you got to, of my 7 principles, is the consultation. The consultation is important. Half of the stuff we go through, we wouldn't go through if we give a thorough consultation. A thorough consultation. When I say consultation, you met the person, they come in, you look in, you inspect and survey their hair. If you can do it, if you can't do it. If you can't do it, say so. Don't even worry yourself if you can't do it. And if you can do it, and it looks like it's a lot of work, you inspect and survey, and you look and you decide. If you have to, leave and go in the back and write down on a piece of paper what you're going to do. You don't have to off the top tell people what you're going to do and how much it costs. I would go in the back, write down everything, then come back and say it would be, let's say $125 and up. And make sure you always, I learned that a long time ago. I was working in a salon, and one of the managers, I agreed to do something. And she said, make sure you always say and up, and up. And that way you don't box yourself in. You know, it's not a la carte. You know, all you, you know, it's not all you, it's a la carte. It's not all you can eat. So meaning if you get a haircut, that's a price. If you get a style, that's a price. And if you do a color, that's a price. It's not all, well, I'm doing a color for $100 and then they want you to do all this stuff. So last week, I was on Facebook and the lady had somebody's hair. And the girl, she showed her a picture of how she wanted her hair done. Well, when I looked at the hairstyle, it was a color, cut, and then she wanted blonde highlights, which I thought that could look like it was hair extension. And the young girl, which she did, it looked like it a little bit. But she was upset because she wasn't sure she priced it right. But when I looked at it, I made sure I let her know. I wrote on the Facebook. I said, well, next time you do something like that, when she shows you a picture how she wanted, you sit up there and you inspect the hair. Don't pull out no combs, no capes, no nothing. Inspect it. And then you give that person a price. And then number 3, if they agree after you went through everything and told them how much it's going to be, $1,200 and up, because sometimes you get in there, you don't know how much color you're going to use, how much perm you're going to use, so you have to, don't block yourself in. I've seen sometimes on the Facebook that some people say they make people give a deposit if it's something real pricey. And then if they agree to the service, after you say, look, I see the picture that you want, and this is how much it's going to cost, and this is what we're going to have to do. Would you like to have it done? And they can say, yeah, you know. Or you can give them your card, and they can come back and they say, no, I don't want to really get that done. I'll just get a cut, or whatever. But take the time, do a thorough consultation. You don't have to rush and do a $1,200 hairdo, and then you come back and wonder, oh, did I price it right? Or did I charge right? Oh, I did all that work. It took me 10 hours, and I only got $500. And you could have got like $1,000 for it. So take your time. Don't rush. Make sure that you give a thorough consultation. And not only that, if it's something that you can't do, make sure you refer them out. Isn't that what the dentists do? I went to the dentist like 2 weeks ago, and they said, we do the cleaning, we do this and do that, but for this and that and the other, we have a specialist. And here's his card, here's his number. So we as hairdressers, we have to build a network of other hairdressers, barbers, nail people that we can refer each other to, or back and forth, because you can't do it. Maybe Sheila can do it. And you send that person to Sheila, and then next time Sheila has someone that she can't do, or know that you're real good at something, she'll send them to you. So build a network of friends. And if it's something you can't do, refer them out. I'd rather you do that than you be miserable and do something you don't like and it don't turn out right and the customer don't want to pay and you're upset, and just refer them out. You'll get somebody that you could do the hair, you like it, and that's how you build your book, by your clients and by your work. Because if you do a good job on something, they're going to refer out. I mean, they're going to, tell people, oh, guess who did my hair? And number 3 is the agreement. Make sure you agree. If you tell somebody, they give you a picture of something crazy, you give them a crazy price. You give them a crazy price. You go ahead and charge what you are worth, and how much the products cost, and how much it's going to take long. You make sure you tell them how much it's going to bring. And either they're going to pay or they don't pay. And if they're not going to pay, then oh well. You give them your card, and when they get their money set up, whatever they want to get done, they'll come back. But you have to set people up to know what you do, what you don't do, how much you charge. And it's okay. It's okay, because you're going to get people that will pay what you ask for. And not only that, if you charge the right amount, you don't have to rush. If you're charging right, you don't have to do a whole bunch of heads. Because if you can get one head, you can make enough for all day. You heard me. You do 2 of those a day, and then you get 2. But if you start people off knowing that's how much you charge, then people will pay. And then that's how you build your book. So number 1 was the greeting. Number 2 is the consultation. Number 3 is the agreement. Now, like I said, if the person agrees to pay, you could take 50% up front or whatever, how you do. Because I seen somewhere last week on one of them Facebook things, somebody walked out the shop and didn't pay for their hair or something crazy. And it was like a $500 hairdo. I don't know how that happened. Now, in my 35 years, I only had that happen one time where somebody didn't pay. And I was new in the salon or whatever. And the owner was like, she's going to come back with our money. And she hounded her and called her all week. Finally, the lady came back on that Friday and paid. Crazy. Number 4, listen when you work. When you're working, you concentrate on your skills. Don't get caught up in a whole bunch of gossip and a whole bunch of petty talk. Let the client talk. You concentrate on your skill. Don't be spilling out your trauma, childhood trauma, your drama, telling all what you're going through. Because when people come too commonplace with you, sometimes they don't want to charge you, or they think you're your friend and they buddy. No, business is business. Keep it business, never personal. Keep it business, because you're dealing with your money. And not only that, you start getting into conversations. You don't know who knows who. So it's best just to keep conversation about business. Not only that, I learned to listen while I work. And if I did talk, I learned to talk about retail and the time to rebook them. Retail and when to rebook. Yeah, you want to rebook your appointment? That's what we talk about. Yeah, girl, I want to rebook. And that's how I build my book. Because I talked about retail, and the time when I did talk, I was talking about rebooking. When you coming back, before they leave, you make sure you rebook them. And when they're sitting in your chair, you let them know what you're using or whatever. And, oh, what's that? That smells good. You let them know what you're using, shampoo, conditioner. But all that talking about what you did Friday night at the club and who you hung out with, see, you don't talk about all that stuff. If you talk about business, and then when you talk about hanging out, you hang out with your friends, talk about that. But keep business. I mean, you can, for instance, when you go to your doctor, because you're a professional just like him. So we got to learn, if we want our books to be full, we got to learn to be professional. And when you go to the doctor, sometimes you were in there 15 minutes, and 5 minutes you're with the nurse, and 10 minutes with your doctor. And you tell him what you want going on, or whatever. He asks you 2 or 3 questions, then he gone. He not telling you how his dog ran away, his wife left him, his kids ate up all the cereal, he don't have no milk. And I noticed when I worked at certain salons over the years, Supercuts, Happy Cuts, some of the stylists, they just pouring their heart out to the customers, and you don't get to really make no money because the customers, they start feeling like, oh, that's just Shirley. No, they should feel like when they come and sit in your chair, like, oh, she's about to put her hands in my head and do the work. But sometimes I learn people come too complex with you. They don't want to, pay you all the money you want that you're asking. So keep it professional. And if you do talk, you talk about retail and you talk about rebooking. So after you finish, you spin them around or whatever, you ask them, do they like it? Because you listened. So it wasn't no misunderstanding because you listened. Because people do that too. Oh, I didn't say I wanted it like that. So that's why you can't be doing too much talking, because people will say that in a minute. Oh, I didn't say I wanted this. You got to be paying attention to what you're doing and listening to them. So, because some people will throw it in your face. Oh, I didn't say that, or something like that. So you stay professional. That way, they can't say that, you did something wrong. But if you was on your P's and Q's and they realize you're sharp, they won't pull that. So listen while you work. Number 4. Number 5, retail. When you are talking to people, you talk about what you're using. Get that commission off of that retail. I remember one time, long time ago, I was working at Reese's or something. My retail check was, because you after your service, sales, they had taxes on it. But you know how you work and they take out taxes. Well, my retail covered my taxes, so all my money that I was making in service, I brought home. That was my money. That was on my check. So I learned to sell retail because that retail money covered my taxes. Say I made $1,000, I had $200 in taxes. Well, that $200 that I was paying in taxes was on my check because I made $200 selling retail, right? Not only that, they're going to go to beauty supply and buy the stuff. So they might as well buy it from you. Then that way you know what they're putting in their hair. And because people, especially women, they get in a frenzy and they start going to them beauty supplies and buying up everything. You might as well keep the money in your pocket. Now, like I said, you talk about retail and rebooking. Before a client leaves your chair or you walking over to the checking them out, taking their money, you ask them, do they want to rebook? So this is how you do that. While you leaving, you start telling them about what they need to do to maintain it, and they need to come back in 2 weeks. You let them know to maintain, even though you got this done, you need to come back in 2 weeks to keep it maintained. Or sometimes they got a special style they trying to work toward or cut. This you got to maintain, you got to come back. This is what you need to do. Or I know with me, I did a lot of weaves. And sometimes them people get them weaves, they come back, they got 2 or 3 inches of new growth. So you have to let them know, hey, even though you're getting this hairstyle, you got to come back in 2 weeks or 2 months and get it, upkeep. Just like you do when you're the professional. Remember, you're the expert, you're the professional. Just like when you get your car, you get your oil change, they let you know, well, hey, you got to come back in 3,000 miles or whatever. You got to maintain it, because if you don't maintain it, this is what's going to happen to your car. So that's how you have to talk to your clients too. You got to be professional. You let them know, hey, you got to come back, because if you don't come back and this not gonna last, or you got to get a retouch, or you got to get your new growth. When your new growth comes in, you have to get your color. So if you do 5 people in one day, and you rebook all 5 people in 2 weeks on a Tuesday, on Tuesday in 2 weeks you got a full book. Then you do that for Wednesday. Then you do that for Thursday. Then you do that for Friday. So for 2 weeks, if you rebook everybody that got their hair done that week, you already got clients already lined up for 2 weeks. Or if you did $1,000 hair weave or whatever, and you know that weave needs to be touched up or redone in 2 months, you need to be, if today is May the 13th, you need to be scheduling them for July the 13th before they leave. And that's how you build your book. Now, number 7 is word of mouth. Word of mouth is the best advertisement. So that's why I said that customer experience has to be exceptional. Make sure, I know you want to be friends with everybody and talk to everybody. Be nice, be social, but always be professional, because you're the expert, and don't let nobody tell you anything different. That's why we went to school to get our license for 12 months, 13 months, child. Some of us 24 months. I know I've worked at some of them beauty schools. Some of them people been in there though for a long time. When I went to beauty school, I got in there and got out because they was charging all those fees, and I wasn't trying to give them no more than I needed to give them. So, like I said, you are the expert. Repeat after me. I am the expert. So don't let nobody sit in your chair and try to tell you anything different. And you build your clientele off of you being the expert. Let them come to you, and you let them know what you can do and what you can do. And if you can build your clientele off of people trusting you, that, hey, go over to Sheila. She does a good job. Hey, go over to Barbara John. He does a good job. Word of mouth, and people will trust you because they know that you're professional, and they know that you're fair, and that you're going to do a good job. They will tell their friends. They will tell their family. Long story short, I did hair in New Jersey for about 10 years. Now, mind you, I would do the young ladies' hair. And then when they graduated from prom, I would do the hair. And then when they graduated from college, I would do their hair. And then when they start having kids, they start bringing their daughters to get their hair. And it's like, oh my God, I've been doing this a long time. To the point where they bring their daughters going to high school, proms and stuff, and you find yourself doing your hair. Sometimes people bring their whole family. Go to her, go to her, go to her, go to him, he do good. And that's how you build a good reputation, by people telling other people that you do a good job. So you be kind to people, stay professional, don't gossip about people, because you never know who knows who, right? And if people know you as a gossip and you keep up a lot of drama, some people won't want to come to you. So one time I was working at this Regis, and it was a Filipino girl. She's real pretty, and she was cutting a guy's hair, and he had a Hummer. This is telling you how long ago this is. It's a long time ago. He had a yellow Hummer. Anyway, he was going on and on. He wanted to take her out on a date. He thought she was cute. And she didn't say that. She just cut his hair and laughed. After the haircut, she gave him his card, told him to come back or whatever. So long story short, 2 weeks later, a lady come in, and she was going on and on about her husband and this yellow Hummer. Because the husband had told the wife to come get her hair cut at the hair cuttery that we was working at. And my co-worker, she come in the back, said, oh my God, 2 weeks ago, this lady's husband invited me out on a date. But she was professional. She kept it professional. She did both their hair and kept it moving. no was said either way. She kept the husband's money and she kept the wife's money, because you never know who knows who. But if you have a reputation of being just a nice person, who cares? La-di-da, keep it moving. Like I said, she didn't date the woman's husband. She cut both of their hair, and she didn't mess up her money, because she still had the money from the husband and she had the money from the wife. But the husband had told the wife to go there to get her hair cut. Word of mouth is your best advertisement. So another reason to word of mouth is, like I said, you do such a good job, people will tell their friends, their family, and bring them back, and before you know it, you're doing the cousins and everybody, the husband and the wife. Number 7. So I have a special one, reward. One of my great friends told me about number 8, reward. So sometimes you will make, sometimes they have little cards where you do punches, or you get 10% off a hairstyle or haircut, or some places I've even seen you get a free haircut on your birthday. So if you have some kind of system where you can keep up with your clients, see what they're doing, so that you can keep in contact with them and reward for certain things. Or sometimes if people refer their friends, you can give them a discount, or give them a free shampoo, or like I said, birthday comb or something like that. Sometimes you had little miniature shampoos and conditioner set. You might do a raffle or something. So you can always have something fun going on to reward your clients. So that was my 7 principles plus the bonus principle of number 8. Number 1 was the greeting. Number 2 is the consultation. Number 3 is the agreement. Number 4 is listen while you work. Number 5 is sell retail. Number 6, make sure you always rebook your client. Number 7 is word of mouth is the best advertisement. And number 8 was a bonus one. Consider giving a reward to your clients. Give them some kind of reward. But like I said, this is Salon Etiquette, Tales from the Salon, where I tell different stories, share little cosmetology of different experiences I've had over the years, because my desire is, even if I don't physically do a whole bunch of hair, I want to share with those coming along on what I did to keep myself booked. I remember one year I worked, it was a New Year's Eve, I was still working till 1 o'clock in the morning. I had clients out the box. I really did good. Cosmetology, I can't complain, was good to me. I did really good. And like I said, we got to get those young ladies out of those bonnets and get them in those chairs so y'all can get that money. Get that money, honey. But you got to have good customer service. So only 50% of it is the hairstyle. The other 50% is customer service. Please like and subscribe. And leave your comments. Let me know how you are making out as a hairstylist. Let me know how you're making out as a salon owner. Is there anything you want to discuss, or anything that you want me to touch on? Please write down in the comments and let me know your thoughts, your concerns, and I'm going to get on here and spill the cosmetology, because I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor, honey. I made it through. I don't know how, but the grace of God. I made it through clients. I made it through the shops, barber school, beauty school. I did it all, honey. But by the grace of God, I am still here. And I'm here to spill the cosmetology. Like I said, please like and subscribe. And make sure you share some of them tales from the salon so we can discuss how we going to get these chairs spinning and get you booked and have them clients coming back and bring in more. How about that? That's even better. Getting them clients in them chairs, getting them booked full, and getting them clients, bringing some more friends and family, and keep the money in your pocket in that ching ching. All right, I love you, and come back and listen to more of my cosmetology. I'll be spilling the cosmetology, telling the salon etiquette tips, and also tales from the salon. Have a wonderful night.